Yo, what it do, wealth builders, digital empire builders, side hustlers? Listen, man, there's three reasons that I think everyone should have a side hustle outside of making some extra money. So, if you are looking for a side hustle, I'm going to share with you some options. But when you understand that there's more to a side hustle that can benefit you than just the extra money that you make on the side, then I think more people will take advantage of the day and age that we live in, because it's just flat out phenomenal that we have all of this technology and all of these resources and all of these various tools that can help move the needle for us. So do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand if you're already building a side hustle. And if you're not and just open to a side hustle, then by all means, let me know in the comments and I'll share with you some of the things that I could potentially help you with. But if you don't know me, my name is Cortez Hustle, founder of Digital Empire System and Financial Elite Fathers Movement. And those are two things that are near and dear to my heart. I believe that the sales and marketing industry for local businesses is something that is so much needed. But then I also have the Financial Elite Fathers Movement, where I hold men accountable to building generational wealth for their families. For the last 9 years now, I've been on this path to help as many people as I can understand the principles and the power behind operating a side hustle to transform your family's financial legacy. And there's three things outside of, yes, I want a business, and yes, I want to make some extra money, preferably some passive and residual money, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with working hard for your money, but I also believe in having systems work for me. I believe in having money work for me, and I believe in having partnerships and other people working with and for me to help transform my financial legacy, while at the same time there's an even trade-off because I'm helping them as well. So what are the three things that come to mind when I think about why I started my entrepreneurial journey, and then how has it benefited me in other ways outside of making me enough money where I don't have to have a traditional job, right? Number one, I believe that there's a sense of pride and fulfillment that comes with being able to make your own money. And I believe that's something that is lost among men. And that's why I built the Financial Elite Fathers Movement, because it's very easy in the society that we live in to get caught up in the mundane, get up, go to work, get a paycheck, pay bills, and do it all over again, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And some of us have lost our pride, right? Some of us feel beat down on the inside. And when I tell you that being able to take an idea that I have in my head, build it out and put it out into the marketplace, and to have people actually respond to that as a solution that they were looking for to make some transformation in their lives, there's nothing like the sense of pride and fulfillment that comes with that, knowing that I can bring some value to the marketplace and I can be compensated in direct proportion to the value that I actually bring to the marketplace. Some of us have been on jobs where we just were not valued, whether it was because our supervisors just flat out hated on us, whether because the job, the company itself had a poor culture. And when you're not valued, it's very easy to fall into a depressive state where you just don't feel like, the man that you are. So number one, I believe that not having that sense of pride and fulfillment, that's something that has really helped me out tremendously through this entrepreneurial journey. And it is not easy, y'all. like don't think for 1 second that we're saying that the minute you start joining or start your entrepreneurial journey, all of this blissfulness is going to happen in your life. In fact, it's probably the quite opposite. And I'm going to say this because some people don't understand how God created the universe, and he set up certain automations in place to get you to where you say you want to go, right? When I say the exact opposite happens, usually when you start a business or start anything that's going to be transformative, right? You make an intention to do anything that's going to take you to another level. Dr. Myron Golden says all the time that disruption follows intention. So the minute you intend to start a business and you start going down that path, then disruption shows up in your life. And most of the time we see that disruption as a sign that it's not meant for me to be an entrepreneur. And that's not the case. That disruption shows up as a way to shape you into the person for which entrepreneurship will work for you. But most people quit because of that disruption. So number one, that pride and fulfillment that you get from creating, and you know, the first thing God tells us about himself in the Bible is that he did what? He created. So he tells us that he's a creator, and we're created in his image. So we should be creating, and that brings a sense of fulfillment, joy, and pride into your life. Even when I have my roughest days as an entrepreneur and things don't go the way that I expected them to, listen, I still have that pride and fulfillment. And then that challenge keeps me on my toes and awakened to still tap into the genius that God gave me to help transform. So number one, I think there's a sense of pride and fulfillment that is missing, especially among men. And this economy, because as proud as I was when I was getting up, going to a job every day so I can get the money that I need to keep a roof over my kids' heads and be able to take my wife out every now and then, like that was one level of pride, right? But then when I started to be able to create money on my own, like that was a whole nother thing. Number two on my list, and you guys don't have to agree, but this is just what I feel. Number two on my list is I think it is time to model something different for our children, right? When you think about where our economy is in 2024, we are not in our grandparents' economy. See, our grandparents were able to go and work at a factory without even a high school degree, a high school diploma, and make a solid and a decent enough wage where they can create a savings. They had a pension plan, and they could buy a house and start building wealth. Back then, a savings account could get you 4 to 6%, so your money was growing. We don't live in that economy anymore, y'all. But the directives that we are given is based on that economy. Go to school, get an education so you can get a good job with benefits so that you could can have this lifestyle. No, see, back then the banks wasn't as predatory as they are today. So what happens when you go to school today? Before you get that good education, you get a good amount of debt, right? Before you get that good job, you are saddled with student loans. And because the way technology has been introduced, by the time you go to school for 4 years and study a subject, the information that you learn is obsolete by the time you get out of college. And chances are that job that you were studying to get don't even exist anymore. So it becomes this thing where we got to really think about the model that we are pushing to our kids, right? Is that model going to work for them today and over the next 40 years? Now, I'm not saying that I'm against higher education. I'm not saying that I'm against knowledge and wisdom and understanding and acquiring as much of that as you can. I am saying that you might not have to go into $50,000 worth of debt to get it. Right? Yeah, like a college degree does not open as many doors for you today as it did 25 years ago. In fact, more and more employers are leaning towards life experience in the hiring process than they are looking at degrees. Because they know the degree says, yes, I can stick with something, I commit to something, I can learn something, I can finish something, I can see something all the way through. But sometimes employers are like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but let me see some evidence of you being able to bounce back when being knocked down on your butt. And sometimes college don't give you that. So I believe it's something that we should model differently for our children. I'm proud to say that, I've sent 4 of my 5 sons to college, right? Gave them opportunity, the option to go that route. But I always told them that the best part of college is not necessarily the things that you learn in a classroom, but the relationships that you create, the opportunities that are afforded to you, the connections, and all of those kinds of things. So modeling entrepreneurship before your children, I think that is something that we should do, so that they at least know that there's an option, right? They at least know that entrepreneurship is an option. The third reason, I said we're talking about 3 reasons that are outside of making extra money, right? Well, this third option includes money, but it's not about making extra money. It's about saving extra money. And the option number 3, or the reason number 3, is because of our largest expense is taxes, right? Or now I now know that my second largest expense is taxes, right? So I'll talk about that first largest expense and taxes, right? Yes, you can't teach kids to ride a bike in the classroom, right? So taxes, right? This is what really got me into entrepreneurship in 2015 in the financial education space. I learned that the average person in America is overpaying their taxes anywhere from $300 to $600 per month. And if they had a legit side hustle, not only could they bring that money back to the table and back to their paychecks, but like if you guys look, and my office is a little bit junky, so I'm not going to give you a panoramic view, but this is a room that is a spare bedroom in my house, right? And this spare bedroom is probably about 15% of the overall living space in this house. So that means everything that I invest in or have to spend, or that's an expense related to this house, 15% of that is a tax write-off for me. So we rent. So 15% of my rent every month is a tax write-off for me. 15% that I pay on the utilities every month is a tax write-off for me. 15% of the yard service that I pay for is a tax write-off for me. Anything that I have to, that's an expense associated with this house, 15% of it is a tax write-off, right? Think about, I'm recording this, I'm streaming this on my cell phone. 90% of the time I'm on my cell phone is for business. So what does that mean? 90% of my cell phone business is a tax write-off. The other 10% of the time is my wife checking up on me, right? I'm going to stream this out using Wi-Fi. So 85% of the time we're using Wi-Fi in this house, it's for business. The other 15% of the time, it's for, pleasure. We're streaming a movie or whatever. I watched a good movie last night called Queen Pins, right? So most of my Wi-Fi and internet service and stuff like that is a tax write-off that keeps money in my pocket, right? And it's because of the power of a side hustle, right? When I travel to see family out of state, most cases, I'm going to take care of business in that state, which makes that trip a tax write-off for me. So there's over 450 tax deductible expenditures that can be attributed or associated with a home-based business, right? So this is another reason that we go hard. So let me talk to you about some of the things that I can help you with. There's 2 industries that I absolutely love for a home-based business, especially for my financially lit fathers movement. The first industry that I absolutely love, and I would encourage anyone to get into, is the financial services industry, right? You might be thinking, well, Cortez, why financial services? Because the financial IQ of the people in America and the people around the world is at an all-time low. So when you get into a financial services industry, a business in the financial services industry, by default, you have to raise your financial IQ. Period. Right? Because you learn about all of these financial instruments, these financial products, and these financial services. And then if you're like me, you not only stop with what the institution teaches, you go outside of the institution and you learn all kinds of stuff on your own as well. So I believe that financial education, the financial services industry, is a great opportunity for you to be in business. If you love the idea of money, wealth building principles, credit, investment, those types of things, then get at your boy. I have a great program for you that you can build a home-based business in, and I'll help you every step of the way. The other industry that I'm in that I absolutely love is the software as a service industry, right? So I have my own marketing software that I sell to small businesses, coaches, and consultants, right? That software allows them to generate leads, nurture leads, convert, communicate with those leads, and sell more of their products on the internet. I believe that's a strong industry because until the end of time, businesses will always need tools to market their services, right? So when I say I sell to small businesses, there are 30 million small local businesses in America. 30 million. So you look at that size of customer. So if I'm in the financial services industry, that's a $4 trillion industry in the U.S. alone. I look at the fact that financial literacy is at an all-time low. That's a big customer base for me to carve out a niche to really make some money in that industry. And the niche that I've carved out for myself is fathers, right? When I look at the marketing software and the fact that there's 30 million small businesses in America, it's like, hey, okay, who can I help create more business, make more money in their institution, help them optimize their online presence, increase their lead flow, grow their revenue so that they can expand their operation and ultimately contribute more to the communities that they serve. It's like, okay, I can work with service-based businesses because we have appointment calendars, we have follow-up sequences, and we have things like that. So I can solve problems for this community and create things like their websites, do their social media marketing. So if you like that kind of stuff, then I can help you build a business in that space, right? And then because I have gotten good at both of those, then I bring those two together in what I call iHustle University, where I coach people and train people on how to better market their business, how to put systems in place using our software, and how to be an overall better entrepreneur. So I believe that every person has the capacity to leverage a gift, talent, special ability that they already have on the inside of them to build a legitimate side hustle that's going to give you a sense of pride and fulfillment that nothing else matches, right? That's going to allow you to model something different before your children. And that's going to give you access to the other side of the tax code, right? The tax code that most of us access through W-2 or employment is very limited in how it can help us build wealth. You start a business, you start investing, or you become a landowner, you get access to the other side of the tax code where the ability to build wealth is almost infinite, right? It's like a flat out true game changer, the way that most people are blind to. And I like to say it like this, and forgive my French, y'all, but Poor and middle class people tend to see Uncle Sam as their enemy. Rich people see Uncle Sam as their partner. Wealthy people see Uncle Sam as their little, I can't say that because this is a family show, but wealthy people know how to just flat out pimp the tax service, the tax system, right? And that's just what it is. And it's not that they're doing anything legal. They just have have an understanding of how to actually play the game, where most of us do not, right? Somebody could be in the comment. Yeah, you got where I was going with that, right? So how do you position yourself? And that's all we're talking about, y'all. Your financial condition in this country has a lot to do with your financial position in this country. If you position yourself as an employee only, and please don't take this as I'm shooting at hardworking men and women in this country. I'm not. I'm saying that position in this economy is the low man on the totem pole. And here's why. And I'm going to wrap this thing up. The reason you're the low man on the totem pole when you're an employee only, because the government says, listen, we can give somebody a tax break, but we can't give everybody a tax break, right? So they said, listen, as an employee, the reason you're on the low man on the totem pole is because you don't bring anything to the table. Now, I know as someone who worked a job that I thought that, hey, man, if it wasn't for me bringing my labor to the table, the whole thing will fall apart, right? But that's not how the institution of America sees you. The institution of America says when you went to that job, there was already a building there for you to go to. When you walked into that building, chances are there was someone there who greeted you. When you went and got trained at the job that you're going to be doing for this company, there was someone there to train you. When you need to perform your job, there was already equipment there. There was already a sales pipeline in place. That the business owner had taken a significant amount of risks, right, to create the opportunity for you to have the job. So the government says you didn't bring anything to the table, you didn't risk anything, so we don't give you any tax breaks. We give the tax breaks to the business owner, right? So the business owners get a good amount of tax breaks, right? But you know what happens from the business owner perspective? When the business owner says, I want to grow and expand my operation, I want to grow into a bigger facility, I want to hire more people, I need to get more equipment in here so that I can increase my capacity and my output. The business owner then has to go to the banks or the investors, the people who have the money. That's why they get the most benefits from the tax system. So as an employee, you're going to get a tax break for being married, for having a kid. Maybe you got an electric vehicle. Maybe you put a energy efficient furnace in your house. You're going to get some tax breaks. But the business owners who are taking the risks to add to the gross domestic product of this country, they get the tax breaks. And then when the business wants to expand, they go to investors to borrow money. So the investors are responsible for expansion and growth. And that's why they get all the tax breaks, right? So I just wanted to share this with y'all. I know I have been kind of not as visible as I am used to being, because I had to get offline to lay my foundation. Now that foundation is laid, you guys are going to see a lot more of me in videos like this, because I want to help as many people as I can. I'm building a legacy for my family, But you know what I believe I've really been called to do is to be a builder of legacy builders. Yeah, yeah, my legacy, like what I'm doing for my family, that ain't the legacy. Part of my legacy has to be I helped 1,000 men build legacies for their families. So when I work with business owners, right, I'm helping them go to the next level, right? So I'm helping them expand their legacies. When I work with fathers who are coming out or starting a side hustle to begin with, like my whole mission is to, yeah, I'm gonna help you make a few extra dollars. But if you're not trying to build a lasting legacy, right? We do four things. We manage money like millionaires. We make money like millionaires. We multiply money like millionaires. But most importantly, we got to maintain our money like millionaires, like the Rockefellers. They 7 generations in, and their wealth just keeps on growing because they understand systems. They understand uh, um, institutions, and they build for the long term, right? Indeed, shave decades off the learning curve, helping people become absolutely. So if you guys want to learn more about what it is that I do, and you want to connect with me, then by all means, send me a DM or go to financiallylitfathers.com. That's probably the best place for most of you guys to start. If you are interested in that software as a service type business, that's my digital marketing agency. Let me know, and I'll send you the link to the free course and how I'll help you set all of that stuff up, man. But I appreciate you guys for listening to me rant on this Saturday morning. Now it's time for me to get out, get out and get something. So I'll talk to you next time. I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.